All right, so this is basically our unit review of this unit of fractions and decimals. So I would suggest you just take your time with this one tonight. Make sure you understand everything, but most of this we should know already. So can you write that number 1 2/3 as an improper fraction? And draw a picture to prove it. So here we go. We have 1 2/3. So if you count up those pieces, you're going to see how many thirds you have there. And then we are doing equations to equal 1 2/3. So there's an example here, but what equations can you do that equal thirds? And remember, okay, if you know the improper fraction, anything that adds up to that would work. You could do multiplication. What times 1/3 would work. You could even do subtraction if you want, but any of the equations that would equal to that would be fine. And then here, we're adding or subtracting. Just be careful with these though. Let's do the tenths and hundredths first. Remember, the 2 tenths should be written as hundredths and converted before you add those together. Same down here, 46 hundredths is fine, but you need to change 3 tenths to hundredths to do that one properly. And we should know how to do that. Here, why don't you add the two whole numbers first, which gives you 6. Then add the fractions next. 3/5 plus 2/5 is going to give you 5/5, but something strange about that. 5/5 is equal to 1. So your final answer is really going to be 6 plus 1. And then down here, this is the trickier one that you might be a little bit stuck on. So my suggestion here is to draw this a little bit neater than we normally do. 2 1/4. Now you're subtracting 3/4. So take away 3 of those fourths. 1, 2, 3. And what is left? And that's going to be your answer. So just look at your picture to help you with that. Then Sophie and Hazel had brownies. Sophie finished 6 tenths of hers. Hazel finished 42 hundredths. So maybe you can just draw pictures to show that like we've done before. So Sophie has 6 tenths. Hazel has 42 hundredths. I'm not going to finish that. You can finish it on your own. Compare them. And who finished more? On to the next page. And here, again, maybe do all of the tenths and hundredths first. And if you can convert these to all the hundredths, they would be very easy to compare. So that would be 30 hundredths, right? That's 3 tenths, which is equal to 30 hundredths. Oh, so those will be equal. Okay, so convert these to hundredths as a fraction, and they're easier to compare. And I think those will be okay. Let me give you hints with this one. These can both be put into fourths. And once you see what they are as fourths, you can compare them. And then down here, really you could just imagine 5, 6, that's most of the way. It's going to be most of the way filled in. That's going to be half the way filled in. So again, there you go. These I think should be okay. Just be careful. This is 3 hundredths, right? So the hundredths place is here. So your 3 will go in there. And be aware of that for this one too. And finally, we're going to finish with the story. Lilia read 2/3 of a book every day for a week. At the end of 7 days, how many books did she read? Write an equation and your answer with both a mixed number and an improper fraction. So there are different ways to do this. One way you could do is just addition. Every day she did 2/3 of a book. So 2/3 plus 2/3 plus 2/3 for 7 days. Or you could do multiplication. 2/3 times 7, and what would it be? Or to really understand, you could draw a picture and think, okay, well, the first day she read 2/3 of a book. And the next day she read 2 more thirds. And the next day she read 2 more thirds. And then do that for 7 days and figure out how much she read and then how much is there left to read. And I think that will be it. And again, if you have questions be sure to ask about them later, because this is the type of thing you'll be seeing on the test. So thank you and goodbye.